Welcome back, I'm Darcy from D2 Sound, and today we're going to show you our new product, the Smart Box, which is a Android interface to add to any vehicle with CarPlay, including factory CarPlay and aftermarket CarPlay. So today I'm going to be showing you how this works on a Kenwood DMX 8020S, but it's the same for factory fitted CarPlay vehicles, even ones with knob controlled CarPlay instead of a touchscreen. But obviously it's a lot easier to operate on a touchscreen, but I'll show you what this Smart Box can do and maybe why you might want it in your own car. So let's go over to the 8020S and I'll show you how it works.
Designed to impress.
Alright, so this is the DMX 8020S and this is our Smart Box. So all we're going to do is plug in the supplied USB to our unit. Now, where your USB port obviously will vary from car to car, and you might even have an aftermarket head unit where you've just ran the cable into the glove box or whatever. So you'll plug it into that location wherever you can plug your CarPlay in, and it will load up on CarPlay on the head unit. So give this a few seconds to boot up because it is obviously an Android interface. It is loading a full interface and not just the standard CarPlay where it's sort of a bit quicker or whatnot. So it takes a few seconds, but that's as quick as it is, so it's not too bad, especially if you're going to go on a trip. You're probably wanting to use something like this for a bit of a trip and not, or for a longer time, and not just for a drive 10 meters away or whatnot. So a few seconds to plug it in, and that's as simple as it is. So now let's take a look at the interface. Alright, so this is the main home screen, I guess you would call it, for the Smart Box. So as you can see here, this is nothing like CarPlay or Android Auto. It's a full Android operating system. So this is done through CarPlay. So all you need to have this thing work essentially is wired CarPlay in your vehicle through your aftermarket head unit in any way in your car. If you have wired CarPlay, then this should work. Obviously, vehicles after 2016 ideally. Before 2016 things get a bit weird, but most of these units will be after 2016 that we'd be looking at now anyway. So you simply click on your CarPlay icon and this brings up the interface. So this is our home screen. You'll see whenever we touch the screen, we get this little dot here. Now this is the navigation dot. Obviously if you push home, it's going to bring you out of the CarPlay menu. It's going, because the home button is related to the head unit or to the vehicle and not to the Smart Box. So it's sort of the first instinct once you're on a page is that you want to go back or home or anything, you sort of push the head unit's home, but keep in mind that's going to take you completely out of the CarPlay menu. So this little navigation menu, all you do is touch the screen anyway. So if you just give it a little move, so that way you're not clicking on anything, it'll bring up this dot. You click on the dot and that brings up a full interface. So we've got home, obviously our home button, return, which is back. So if you're a couple of layers deep into some settings or something, or on a website page or anything like that, you can simply, oops, I didn't touch it because it went away. You can simply push back and it will take you back back to what you were previously watching, viewing the previous page, anything like that. So that's our first navigation item. So the next one is basically what is running in the background. So this is an Android system, so anytime you close anything, it's going to still be running in the background. So you can go into this and this is all the apps that are currently running. So you can swipe up to clear them, or push delete to clear them all. So next up we've got the microphone, which is for speech control, so you can basically do voice commands and all those sorts of things, or ask it questions like what's today's weather, everything like that, and it will link obviously if you're connected to the internet. So on that note, with the internet, into settings, we've got network and internet, Wi-Fi to connect to a Wi-Fi network. So probably the easiest way to use this device is if you put a portable hotspot on your phone. It does have its own SIM card slot, so if you do have another SIM card or want to add another SIM card to your plan, you can put a SIM card in it and it will operate as its own internet, as well as allow you to do phone calls and text messaging from the SIM that's on the device. That's through phone and messaging here. So these phone and messaging apps are for the unit itself and not for your phone that you connect to it, which I'll get to a bit later. So that's the next one along. From that, we see this little split screen icon, which is the two squares with the line down the middle, the purple one there. So let's say we have two apps open that we want to view at the same time. You can say, let's go Maps, and let's go with Spotify. So we have Maps and Spotify. Obviously, I'm not logged into Spotify, so it's just going to show the main loading screen. But let's go Maps and Spotify. Then we put the split screen, and you can select which app you want on the other screen, because you start with one screen. So let's say we want Maps. That'll give us now a split screen of Maps and Spotify up at one time. So you can be driving along knowing where you're going to go and seeing what next song or choosing your song and whatnot. So that's pretty convenient just to have that at your fingertips. Now to get out of that, you just push the split screen again and that will get out of it. The other two aren't really that worried about, but if you push this driving car, that exits back to the outside of, or back to normal driving mode outside of CarPlay. So same thing with the main home screen. If you push the car down the bottom here, that will exit as well. Now this apps gives you all the apps that are installed on the device down here, and then your last used recent apps will automatically load up in this side here. So that's sort of the navigation of it all. Now, if you're not familiar with any Android device and you've only owned Apple all your life or whatnot, then the Play Store here is basically the App Store. So if you click on Play Store, obviously we're connected to the internet right now, so you'd have to connect to internet first. Then you'll want to sign up and log into a Google Play account, which is like a Gmail account, or your Google account, which is sort of all of your data loaded across, similar to, like, I suppose, an iTunes account. So once you log into that, it's obviously free to do. Then you can start navigating, downloading apps, updating apps and everything. So the first thing you want to do is go into your pending downloads or your updates. So all the apps here that are on the device that need updating will sort of come up here that you can update. So you can either update them all or update them one by one. So the first one that is probably the biggest that you'd want to update is the Spotify app, if you're going to use a dedicated Spotify, because you can't sign in without updating the app to the latest version. It'll sort of come up as if like it's a suspected spam and sort of not allow it to sign in, especially if you're signing in through Facebook. It'll try and give you a HTML error. So to do that, if you missed what I just did, I'll just get out of everything. So Play Store, and then it'll come up with a sign in. So once you sign in, it'll give you this page here, and you'll see in the top corner, it'll give you your icon. If you don't have any pictures or anything uploaded to your Google account, then obviously you won't have a picture there. But yeah, you click on your little account up there, and we've got Manage Apps and Device. So you click on that, and then we're in our overview here, and you can see updates available. So you can just click on that, update all the apps, and that will keep them up to date and fresh and running. So once you've got that, then yeah, I suppose you're free to, I'll keep in that. You're free to browse whatever apps that you want. So we've got Binge, we've got Xbox 9, well, you name it. Any app that you want on this device, you've got it. And that's, like I said, this is a brand name device. It's not an Android unit. So this is a standard Kenwood DMX 8020S. So having all of these apps at your fingertips through CarPlay might be handy. Like, you might be wanting to, I don't know, you might be on the drive back home and forgot to order some food or get some food. So you might hit Uber Eats on the way home and download get some food on the way because you forgot what you were doing. But it's just sort of anything you want at your fingertips. Or if you're going on a camping trip and you sort of park up and you're sitting in the car and you want to watch something, or it's raining and you don't feel like being out and camping or anything, then you can have YouTube download. You can have Netflix on here. If you have your Netflix open, you can actually download movies on Netflix. Like I said, YouTube, so there's your YouTube. Anything at all that you want up on your screen, it's sort of there at your fingertips. So they're a really handy little unit, and it's all done through simple CarPlay. So last up, the last thing that you might want to use this for is it will actually allow you to have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So as you can see here, we're through a wired device. As you can see, we're through a wired device here, which would normally be the car's USB, or if you have a USB cable ran somewhere. but we can run this now as a wireless Android Auto or wireless CarPlay scenario. So if you go across to find this speed play here, click on that. This is the connection port or point for wireless Android Auto or CarPlay. So on your device, you want to search for or pair to it, which is KPLER. So we can authorize that, grant permission. It'll say coming up connecting, and you might have to follow the steps on your phone to allow it and allow Siri and things like that, just like you would with your normal CarPlay. But now we're in our standard CarPlay and Android Auto screen. So this is wireless Android Auto. So as you can see, I'm not connected. My phone's not connected via any wires or anything, but we've got our Android Auto, which is now straight off my phone. This isn't through the device. Well, it's through the device, through the Smart Box, but it's not on the Smart Box. This is now just Android Auto wirelessly. So that might be a feature that you want to have, and it's still a feature that you can have on this, but when you've got that many other features at your fingertips with all this, you can have everything that CarPlay and Android Auto can offer, plus more. So I feel like that's sort of a good bargain because there's built-in GPS and SD card. So if you have an SD card, micro SD card, you can put in the device, and you can go across to this ES File Explorer. Now you click on that and you'll swipe across a few times. Normally with the first loading screen you'll get a few different pictures. You'll swipe across and just get out until you get to the end, and then it'll say, I think it says start now or something along those lines, and then this is your File Explorer. So if you have an SD card loaded, you can see that you can click on that, and then you've got whatever apps or apps that you can have on the device, as well as any videos or songs or anything off the device itself. So you can view them at any time and play them, pictures, all that sort of thing. And yeah, so that's sort of brushing the surface of it. There's obviously, it is dual-way Bluetooth, so you can actually have Bluetooth USBs, Bluetooth keyboards, OBD2 readers and things like that, so you can actually read engine diagnostics and all that sort of stuff up on your factory screen if you have factory CarPlay. So a pretty nifty little tool, and for the price of $280, I think it's something that everyone should really have in their car to improve on their standard CarPlay and yeah, get all the functions you can. Why not? All right, so that's it for today. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask me, leave a comment or send me a message on the business page, or go to my website and there's contact page on there with email address and everything. I'll have a link down in the description for the purchase of these devices and anything else related to this. So we've got wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto adapters. So yeah, feel free to go and purchase one. Send any messages, any questions, I'll try and answer them. So thanks guys, thanks for watching.
Designed to impress.